Shh. Hey everyone, I just wanted to share this unboxing with you today. I have the Fairy Tarot cards by Radleigh Valentine, which have just arrived. As you can see, they're still in their cellophane wrapper. And I just wanted to show you what these cards look like when you first get them and just go through a few points. Now, you might have seen my review of the Angel Tarot, which I think is quite a similar deck. Again, it's the same author, it's the same kind of size. It's another big old deck, like a cross between a tarot and an oracle deck. So I'm expecting this to be quite familiar to me, quite similar, just with a slightly different fairy theme instead of the angel theme. So let's open up and take a look. So this deck retails, oh, that's the American price. I think I paid $12.99 for this. It was on offer on Amazon. I prefer to buy from small retailers when I can, but that's been less easy the last couple of years, what with lockdowns and stuff. So they usually come in a cellophane wrapper, which I can usually get with my nail. There we go. Okay, keeps it nice and clean and tidy. And they always come in these nice, let's just take that off. Okay. Always come in these nice hard boxes, which helps to protect them, and that I use as well just as a stand. If you see me using a pack of cards, you'll see I usually have it used inside the box as a stand, so I can just grab them when I need them when I'm in the middle of a reading. So let's just have a look. So it's a bit like an iPhone. Wait, open slowly. There we go. So on top we've got the guidebook, which is what we expect. These cards always come with a lovely guidebook, which is usually quite in depth, has meanings of every card and some ideas of how to interpret them, some ideas of how to lay them out as well. So that's quite useful, especially if you're a beginner. I don't normally refer to the book very much. As I've said before, I am a professional reader, so if I'm reading for a client, I'm not going to be looking it up in the book, but I might occasionally refer to it, you know, just to get some extra information about the cards, to get a little bit of extra energy in there. Or if I'm reading for myself and I'm having trouble being impartial, you know, which can be difficult. If you're reading for yourself, it can be very difficult to be objective about what you're seeing, because you tend to put your own hopes or fears into the reading. So, right, so we have the guidebook there. So next we have the cards underneath in a little piece of paper holding them together there. Pop those over there. There we go. So that's quite nice. Oh, okay. I was expecting this one to have like a metallic edge like the angel deck does. I'll just show you side by side. My angel deck looks a little bit battered now because I do use it rather a lot. Yeah, it doesn't have the metallic edge that I was expecting, which is a shame, but it's not a big deal. I do prefer the metallic edged ones because, as I've said in previous videos, they tend to shuffle and slide more easily and they're less likely to get stuck together. But we'll see how we get on with this one. So just tear off the paper there. Okay, so when you get any new pack of cards, you will find usually that they stick together a little bit. See, they're sort of in clumps there, and you have to bend them. You hear that when I do the bend, you can hear just unsticking from each other. That is completely normal. There's nothing wrong with that. That is something that I will do. I will go through a whole new pack and I will unstick each card, pull them apart and get them ready to shuffle and ready to use. So yeah, that's nothing to worry about. If your cards are a bit sticky when you first get them, you just have to move them about a bit like this, flex the card, and they will unstick themselves. There we go. Just do those. Okay. Usually with these packs, they will actually come in order. So all of the suits will be in order, all of the cards will be in order. So one of the first things you will need to do after unsticking them, there we go, there's a few more stuck together there. You will actually need to give them a very, very thorough shuffling. And the way I recommend to do that is the way I shuffle cards to play cards. I'm just going to grab my angel deck because it's easier to handle because it's not brand new. And I just lay them out in 5 different piles. This is something that I learned from playing cards as a child. Put them in 5 piles and that will break any patterns in the suits. And just keep going, keep dealing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep dealing until you've dealt them all out, and then put the piles back together, and that will help to break up any patterns, and then you can go to the more familiar type of shuffling like this. Okay, there we go. So, first impressions, let's take a look. I was a little bit disappointed that it doesn't have the metallic edge, but I can live with that. That's okay. A lot of my cards don't. I do like the imagery. I think it's very, very pretty. I'm going to really enjoy working with this energy. I resonate quite strongly with fairies anyway, and with those etheric realms. So I'm pretty happy about that. The colour of the cards, the outside border colour, is actually the same as the Angel Tarot. So this is very, very familiar to me. We've got purple for the major arcana, and then the 4 suits are these green, blue, turquoise and red. So that's the same border colour as, sorry about the lighting here, that is the same border colour as this pack, the Angel Tarot, which is fine. Again, that's what I was expecting, and in a way that's quite helpful because it is a system that I'm used to working with. Right, so I've just pulled the blind because the sun's coming round because it's that time of afternoon. So I'm just having a little go at shuffling with these. These are actually quite nice to shuffle. They are a big deck. You know, this is a tarot deck. It's 78 cards. It's a non-traditional tarot deck, but it's still a tarot deck. So it has the correct number, 78 cards. But because it's sort of cross, it's a hybrid, if you like, with an oracle deck. They've used the oracle card size. Tarot decks are usually much smaller than this. So if you have small hands, you're going to find these might be difficult to shuffle, and you might have to find some workarounds to shuffle these. They are quite big. I have quite big hands because I'm quite a tall woman. So just be aware these are big, you know, and you may encounter a few problems when you're trying to shuffle them. But again, to me, that's not a big issue. I'm used to shuffling big cards a lot, so it's not a massive deal for me. I really, really like these images. These are really pretty. Really liking these. These are lovely. I'm going to really enjoy working with them. And you'll notice the suits haven't got the traditional names, again, like the Angel Tarot. These have actually picked the 4 seasons, which is interesting. So instead of having cups or pentacles, you know, you've got spring, summer, autumn and winter, as well as the major arcana, which I think is quite an interesting way to do it, and I'm looking forward to having a go at working with these. Again, you have got a little bit of text at the bottom of each card, which helps you to remember the meaning for the card, can help as a little bit of a prompt if you're struggling with your reading, or if you're quite new. I mean, it happens to us all. I mean, even me in a reading, sometimes I go blank, you know, and I have to ask my guides to step in or take a moment and look at the card and, you know, get myself tuned back in properly again. We've got all the number written in letters up here as well, not in numerics, which is interesting. But again, same as the Angel Tarot cards. So in many ways, a very, very similar deck to the other one, to this one. Very similar. Different enough that I think it's worth having both of them, because I think they both have a different energy and different imagery. And if you're doing like a fairy themed reading, or if you're doing some angel healing or something like that, you know, it can be really useful to have a matching deck depending on what you're doing. I mean, I recently trained in angelic healing, so obviously I'll be using the Angel Tarot cards alongside that. But equally, if you were doing like fairy crystal healing or some sort of fairy work with that realm, it is nice to have the themed cards to go with it. So yeah, first impressions is very nice. I like the box, I like the cards, they're very nice. They're pretty much what I expected. They are very big, so they're not for everyone if you have small hands. I don't think they're necessarily for everyone. But other than that, because of the way they're laid out, the very detailed guidebook and the words written on the cards as well, I think these would actually, in a way, be quite useful for beginners. because there's a lot of information to work with. You know, if you're learning and you're trying really hard with tarot or with readings, these are really good because there's lots to pull out of the pictures. I mean, look at these pictures. They're very, very detailed. There's a lot that you can draw out in a reading. I always say that, you know, with this kind of pack, you can, if you have to, do a whole reading from one card. You should be able to do that, you know, at some point in your career. I mean, really, really beautiful pictures. So I'm pretty happy with this one. I'm going to see how I get on. I'm going to test it out on some of my clients moving forward, see how we get on with this one. But I'm pretty confident this one's going to be great. I'm really, really looking forward to adding it to my collection. So I'm going to rate this one. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because I really would have liked the metallic edges. And again, there is the complaint that it's a little bit big to handle. It's a little bit unwieldy. But it's overall a very nice deck. It feels quality. You know, it's quite thick cardboard. Obviously, there's a decent layer of plastic on there. I think these are probably going to be with me for a few years yet. Evie, what do you think? Do you think they're good? Yeah? You get your seal of approval? Yeah. No, you can't eat them. It's not food. No. Bowls are over there. Yes, it's dinner time. I know.